Hey guys, it's Lex, and today we're here to answer the 1,000-year-old question: is sticky webs broken and Scarlet and Violet overused? So, World Cup of Pokemon qualifiers has started recently, and it's a little crazy, but sticky webs has been brought in like 2 out of 4 games. That's like 50% usage. This game in particular I wanted to showcase because it's the most absolutely mind-blowing sticky webs game I've ever seen in my entire time playing Pokemon. And I gotta say, this one will surprise many of you. So, we got PKL Sweep for you, Team Asia, we got Fagos, Team Netherlands. They're duking it out, trying to get the first blood of the entire tournament. And looking at it, it looks pretty tough if webs go up. So PKL's got to have some kind of anti-webs measure, and you have to have that when you're using hyper offense. Otherwise, you just get steamrolled like 100-0 matchup by something like webs. So we'll see if he does. All right, so something interesting that's happening here is Great Tusk is leading with Speed Booster. Now, what this implies to me, like if I were to be the sticky web user, you know I wouldn't though. I'm honorable like that. If I was, I would assume this is like some kind of rock move or temper flare or something on Great Tusk, and he's just leading it because max HP on Great Tusk, which is how you get Speed Booster, is the only way that you can live a Moonblast from max special attack Rabombi. So what I would assume here is that he's going to break my Sash, and then he's going to threaten spin, force me to go to Goldango, and then try to predict that, break the balloon on the switch in. So what actually happens though, he reveals Taunt. So Taunt on booster speed Great Tusk, it makes sense as a lead, I guess. Like you really don't want hazards going up on this side. This kind of directly tells you that he's not Boots Weavile. He's probably like a Life Orb or even a Choice Band Weavile or some kind of like Sash set is even possible. So that tells you that. So he reveals Taunt, and Rabombi reveals Mental Herb. First of all, Stun Spore missed. That sucks. But who is running Mental Herb Rabombi? What is a faster Tauntmon besides Great Tusk? Like, that is a crazy read in preparation to me. And you gotta give props to Netherlands for trying out some kind of insane set like that. So Stun Spore misses. Pikel decides to get Rocks up on the Moonblast, which it comfortably eats. Like that only does 77, and Great Tusk has like no spit F. He reveals Endeavor as webs go up, and what Endeavor tells me is that there's no way this is Rabbit Spin Great Tusk, right? Like it's probably Endeavor ground move Stealth Rock's Taunt, like that's probably what it's running. There's zero chance that it's Rabbit Spin. That being said, I think Goldango looks pretty free on the side of Fagos. And then, then it's revealed that it's actually knockoff. So the knock is the 4th move. Unfortunately, it does not knock out the Goldango completely, but it's not like webs were ever getting off anyways based on Mental Herb into all of that. That being said, I wonder if taunting again would have been the play here and then switching into something after breaking the Sash. But I guess he predicts that the Moonblast is coming out and webs isn't coming out. So that was a great play by Fagos to really swing the momentum in their favor and lead to this exchange happening. All right, so Pikel switches in Weavile. Taking the webs means that it's obviously not Boots. Reveals Life Orb, which is a super easy knockout for Iron Moth. But, you know, Ice Shard doing 21%. That's like a pretty solid amount of damage. So Pico will definitely take that. It puts it into E-Speed range, perhaps. Puts it into like, well, I guess that's really it. So D-Knight comes in. Fagos reveals another tech of theirs. Toxic Spikes on Iron Moth. And this play right here might seem ridiculous to you. Why would you why would you not break multi-scale when it's so strong into your team? But Fagos is about to reveal why. That's no problem at all. So Pikel goes for the D-Dance, which makes sense. If you expect Iron Moth to break your multi-scale anyways, you might as well get a dance off for it. Great sack for Rabombi, and brings in their own booster speed Tusk. So Pikel, expecting Ice Spinner, Terra's Fairy, which never KOs because it's like max HP, and Fagos reveals Roar. So it's like Fagos has truly thought of everything to beat Pikel in this exact matchup. Like maybe this team showed up on a scout or they caught them laddering or something. Because this is like an unprecedented level of ownage, in my opinion, in terms of prep. So D-Knight comes in, reveals it's not Boots, probably like a Leftovers, Mental Herb, Lumberry even, bunch of possibilities. Reveals Leftovers. Fagos reveals Terra Ghost on the E-Speed. Like that's crazy. Like every single every single cylinder is firing currently. Unfortunately, it doesn't get a boost because I'm pretty sure double boost or even a singular boost would just end the game on the spot. But the game extends. The game goes on. So Walking Wake comes in, takes the sticky webs, takes all that. This Dazzling Gleam does a lot of damage, 72%. I don't know if this was like an agility set or something, but I think if you agility, knock out Iron Moth, King Gambit comes in anyway, so it doesn't even matter. But Vigos reveals Horn Leech, which means that it's obviously some kind of sword stance set, but what it is not obviously is this. So Pikel's Goldango has revealed Hex. That pretty much all but implies that it's a Thunder Wave set, because you're not running Hex without your own T-Spikes, without your own status spreaders. No reason to. So Pikel goes for Thunder Wave on sub. See, when I say all the techs we're hitting in this game, I mean literally every single tech. So Hex breaks the sub. I think Fagos is like trying to catch like a... I think Fagos is trying to catch T-Wave on there in case it's like max defense gold and is able to eat it. But I believe that Horn Leech proves that it's not max defense gold. It's like some kind of offensive Hex Balloon Thunder Wave set. So from here on out, game is over. Absolutely nothing Pikel can do. Like, even if you're Scarf Valiant, you need to crit through this Ogerpon, and it reveals booster special tech. Yeah, I mean, this was one of the most insane webs games I've ever seen, because literally every single tech came to play. The Mental Herb on Rabombi. I don't know if Goldango requires bulk in order to live knockoff, but, you know, speed boosting Tusk isn't the strongest guy ever, so I kind of doubt it. I believe this was probably just max speed, max special attack gold. The Ogerpon sub really came in clutch. It could have created a really tricky endgame if the gold was able to pair this. Like, I would even argue that Pikel's favored if it's not sub, actually. Or if he gets every hex turn right somehow predicting sub. The Terragos Iron Moth went absolutely ballistic here. Those T-Spikes really put up so much work. And obviously the Roar Great Tusk did a bunch on its own as well. Like, that really caught that Dragonite off, and then it revealed it's not boots, so you just screwed over the Dragonite completely. Insane game. Nice start for the Netherlands. Very new team into the World Cup setting, or at least, like, I feel like newly revived, because they didn't have the greatest showing the previous year, so this is really the year that everybody's going to step up. And this player right here, Fagos, they came out guns blazing with all these crazy techs and all these nice plays to really set up the team. Next up, we have Maxix versus Apache. So I think this is Team Argentina for Maxix. Sorry if I'm saying that name wrong. And then Apache is on Team Venezuela. So two South American teams really fighting for it, really trying to make it. And they both brought basically completely polarizing playstyles. Maxix brings a Sticky Webs team. Obviously, the video is about Sticky Web. Apache brings a stall team. So usually Sticky Web is actually terrible into stall, because your webs aren't affecting anything on a team that's meant to outlast and wall everything, right? So this is a very interesting matchup. Like, he's really going to have some techs that can beat it, such as like a superpower Enamorus or something, like a Terra Ground superpower, physical but also special Enamorus, because you have Dondozo. Like, stuff really has to go his way for this. Alright, to start it off, Goldango leads, reveals that it's not a nasty plot, which is actually a really big deal for Apache. Because if it's like a nasty plot shock gold, like Psyshock, then that's actually how Sticky Webs can deal with stall in the first place. But I can't talk. Araquanid and Toxapex come out and trade versus each other. This reveals that it's an Assault Vest set because it's Infestation and Sludge Bomb. I believe this is actually a CTC team that he made. So I think all the sets here are probably public. Makes a nice play, predicting Blissey to come in so Aloe wouldn't have to take the Rocky Helm. Headlong Rush does a lot of damage. If you look at this team, there's no switch in to ground type moves, because Weezing here always runs Neutralizing Gas in order to get the defog off versus Goldango teams. So there's really no switch in. Like, if this is like a Terra Ground or Terrified Tusk, it's about to blow this Aloe away, which is exactly what happens. So Aloe goes down, Weezing comes in, and if I see Weezing come in like this, I'm like, okay, you get knocked out completely. Like, you reveal that you're gassed because the ability shows up, and then you get knocked out completely by Headlong Rush. So I'm going to switch out because I'm expecting you to Terra here. So a nice play from Apache would actually be to not Terra here and just go for like a defog or something. But Terra Wisp makes a lot of sense. You can really be a hard counter to Great Tusk in this way. Blissey comes in. This is pretty standard for now. Probably click Shadow Ball. Switches out versus the Darkrai. And I found this to be a little bit tricky because if it's Trick Darkrai, I don't think you actually mind taking the Trick because you still have like a max HP Treads. You still have a Toxapex that can kind of deal with Gold. So, and Blissey itself still deals with Gold even while paralyzed. So I feel like you don't want to risk the Nasty Plot here. I would come on my own as Blissey, but I understand trying to respect like a Trick Scarf set, even though it might not really exist on a style like Webs. But Pegs gets some nice damage in. This does force Doza to go down, which is unfortunately an answer to Great Tusk that he's throwing away right now. But I think that's the only way he was going to get chipped versus this +2 Darkrai anyways, is going for the body press. So I understand why he did it. Manages to dodge the flinches. So Pex is able to revenge kill. Tusk comes in, just fires off a Headlong Rush. That still does so much damage, 26%, even though it's resisted now. So gets the fog off, so Iron Treads is able to outspeed Raging Bull, able to outspeed even Great Tusk maybe, and also Gold itself, of course. Goes for Focus Blast on the Pex. That was a nice play, just putting this a little lower for the future, maybe for Raging Bolt later on. But here is the decisive turn. Gets the Ice Spinner read correctly, and it turns out to be a roll versus Weezing. The thing is, if that roll didn't work out, and somehow Strange Steam is able to do 46% or like a crit, then the game is different. I think that's probably the only out, like even if Weezing does live, because Enamorus can always Healing Wish Great Tusk to full, and Great Tusk beats everything 1v1 very easily. So from here on out, game is over. Enamorus comes in, it's just going to Healing Wish. Great Tusk is just going to knock everything out in one hit. Tries to get the regen up to see if there's possibly a roll, but I don't think there's a single roll because Toxapex is not defense invested with the Assault Vest set. So yeah, Webs claims another life. I think it's about 2 out of 4 SVOU games. Out of like, I think like 40 games are going to be played in total, maybe even more in this qualifying stage. So is this a sign of things to come? Is Webs going to be too much for the meta to handle? I'm curious what people think about it. If you enjoyed something like this, me covering some videos, make sure to like and subscribe. I will be trying to cover games live, but these games are obviously played all around the world, so timing might not work out exactly. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoy, and make sure to take care and have a great day. Peace.